All right, that is the 6 o'clock alarm. Everyone stand and face the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you for that. And everybody gets a chance to look at the agenda. Any errors that you can see or corrections? If not, I need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Anybody here from Ward number 2 that is interested in an alderman interview? Here as if there is. So we'll move on to number 5, the sealed bids. Although there isn't sealed bids, there's sealed bid. And here it is. They had until 5 o'clock today, is that right? Metal-clad pole building to be moved or dismantled, and the name of the bidder is Regan Holmenberg. Regan. R-E-G-A-N. Holmand, that's H-O-M-A-N-D-B-E-R-G. Holmenberg. From Alcester. Property, metal-clad pole building, bid price of $1,200, dated today's date, signed by Regan Holmenberg.
And that does exceed the appraised value.
What was the appraised value?
500.
Pass that around, let people take a look at it.
Sorry.
Evidently, the Bream air conditioner was not of interest to anybody at this go-around, or I don't know what our best option is now. Put it on an auction site.
Check for him.
Buy an air conditioner, it's 45 degrees outside.
Oh, that's true.
It doesn't say how long till you have to have it off, right? What would be that?
I showed Mr. Holmenberg the building, and we talked about that, and I said, we don't want to take all summer.
Right.
You get started on it, maybe a month or 5 weeks at most.
Right.
His plan is to divide it into 3 parts. And the panels unscrew, the siding is screwed on, so he's just gonna take it apart, cut the poles off and load it on some kind of a trailer conveyance and
Move it out to his
Move it.
place.
Move it, yeah, he's gonna make 3 garages out of it, he said. So we'll see.
Well, is there any other discussion regarding that bid? If not, we need a motion if we're going to accept it.
I'd make a motion to accept the bid of $1,200 from Regan Hollenberg.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the bid for the metal clad building from Regan Hammenberg for $1,200. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We'll now move on, because there is no bid for the Regan air conditioner, unless you want to discuss, what do you want to do with it? You want to put it on an auction site like we try it?
We have some other, what do will we have to go with the appraised value yet?
So if we don't get a bid, do you have to wait a extended period of time?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we can list, I can find out and send you an email on it tomorrow, but I think we can just list it on, what's our site?
Purple Wave.
Purple Wave. Yeah, I think we can list that here pretty quick on Purple Wave.
Okay.
Is that where all the other stuff is gonna go to?
No, that'll go in Marketplace.
You could go on Marketplace too.
Can I put it on
I
Marketplace
think
as
so.
well?
Oh, like
Just a
Facebook?
Facebook Marketplace.
I'll check.
Okay,
Get that to you tomorrow.
okay.
Everybody satisfied with that? Okay, then we will move on to item number 6, public input. No public input. In that case, we will move on to item number 7, affordable housing discussion.
Okay, so I talked with Harley at CCOG and told her we were interested in moving forward with a housing study. The cost of the study is, the full cost is $5,000, but there is grant money available, so the ultimate cost to the city will be $1,250. There are 2 things that need to be done. The first is to pass this resolution stating that we will commit to it at a cost of $1,250. And the second thing is to complete this application, which I have done, and I enclosed a copy for you guys. And I will sign that pending your approval. And then the third thing to complete the application is to submit letters from a couple of either businesses or agencies or somebody in town that is also going to support this project. And I already have those letters. I have the letter from Mr. Reed, who said housing is definitely an issue for teachers and also feels that it's hindering, not having housing is hindering students from, or families being able to move to Alcester. And then also from the president, Todd Nelson, of Industrial Board.
Any discussion outside from what we've heard?
I think we need to do something to get some housing. I don't know how affordable it's gonna be, but we'll find out. If there's a need, that's $1,250. How long would the study take?
That I do not know.
Well, Well, the first thing we would have to deal with is the grant application, and that should be a logical step. It's 25 cents on the dollar when all is done, because CCOG will match our amount, and then, I don't know what this other matching, it just says match amount requesting, that must be from the Development Authority?
It's, there's funding for the South Dakota Housing, they get $60,000 annually that each community can get up to a 50% grant with a maximum of 5,000. So,
So we need a motion to approve submitting that grant application first, and then we can talk about the resolution.
I'll make a motion to approve submitting a grant application and spending up to $1,250 for the study.
I'll second.
Go ahead, Dave.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve that submission of the grant application. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Then, the very first page is the resolution. And that's necessary to get the CCOG matching funds for our amount, so. If there's any discussion regarding that, but again, I'll need a motion to approve that resolution.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2022-01, sponsorship of housing needs study update.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made to approve the resolution as is written in the agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Move on to number 8, legal updates.
All right. Today, Pat, if I remember correctly, 5 o'clock was the last day we gave the property owner at 505 Ofsted substantial time to bring the house back in compliance after the fire last fall. I haven't heard anything. Mr. Fillings was in contact with my office today. I don't believe he heard anything from them. And Pat, you haven't heard anything
I have not.
today, so we're going to be bringing condemnation and actually condemn it here probably this week. Property owner can give it several months to apply and hasn't responded in any form or fashion. So, with respect to 307 Iowa, I do not have anything to update at this time.
So Sam, what's the procedure then? So you will bring the documents to court then?
Yeah, so what'll happen is there will be a, I can't quote you chapter and verse of the statute, but it's gonna, it'll get brought in circuit court as a violation of the nuisance statute. And then we can also allege, I believe, that it has violated our ordinance and property maintenance codes. And circuit court judge will look at it, and Mr. Fillings will provide an affidavit, he may testify, and the individual, the property owner, gets legal notice and an opportunity to appear, and with or without counsel, to make their case, and the city put its evidence. And the judge either says, yes, it's a nuisance and it's in violation of statute and code, or it's not.
What's the time frame then?
I believe there'd be 30 days notice after filing to file an answer, but it may be a shorter time period in statute. I think it's around 30 days.
Okay. So there has been some question, so if the city goes in and cleans up the property, we're really focusing on the house. Would we do any cleaning up in the garage? It's a detached garage.
You could, if I don't know if Jeff has looked and seeing whether or not the garage was in violation of the codes or whatnot. I mean, the city certainly could if they wanted to. If it was out of compliance and we're gonna fix the house anyway, we gotta fix the garage. We could.
I didn't know, because we've not gone in the garage.
Okay.
So if the city undertakes the project to dismantle the house all the way, how are we going to get reimbursed for that? They're going to go on the tax rolls?
Yeah. Yeah, we could end up putting a lien on it, and then eventually, if taxes are not paid, which I'm guessing they won't, it would be sold for a tax. Is one way to do it. Property owner, and I'll certainly approach them about this. If they want to deed it to the city, I believe, my understanding is the mortgage that was on it, that mortgage company, that bank or whoever it was, had insurance policy. So the mortgage has been satisfied by
Correct.
that insurance policy, so I don't know if there are any encumbrances on it right now.
Okay, thank you.
Nothing else?
No, sir.
Okay. Then we'll move on to wastewater facility plant upgrade.
So last week, we had I attended a Zoom meeting with the Department of Natural Resources. And we had a clean water grant for the sewer collection part of our project. So we had the first round that we went through where we were awarded the $3 million and some loan forgiveness. That is everything to be done on the sewer plant itself. So that's the design, the engineering, and the construction of the sewer plant. This next part that you have in front of you here is what we were awarded for the second part of that first initial project, which is First Street and Ofsted Street. So we submitted our costs of $1,669,000. We were awarded a grant of $1,418,650. So the question there's a couple of things for the council to consider. The first one is when to start this aspect of the project. I did call Tanya today to ask for her opinion, and she said it's really up to the council what you would like to do. My personal recommendation would be I would, if we're looking at doing this in a relatively quick time, because we have 5 years to use this grant money, I would recommend that we start the process in January of 2023. She will need 9 months to do the surveying and to determine the full scope of the project. And that way it could go to bid in the fall of 2023. So. And my reasoning for that is I just would prefer not to put a big bond on the books in December. I'd rather just start a year fresh and put the bond on at the beginning of the year. And depending on the weather, she said this type of design work is not going to take nearly as long as designing all the buildings that we have down in our current sewer plant. This is more focused on the streets, the curb and gutter layout, that kind of thing. So if we don't have a lot of snow cover, they can get quite a bit done. Now, some other aspects to consider with this part of the project is this just covers half of tearing up the street to replace it for the sewer line. And she just did a very rough estimate, but if we were looking at doing the other half of the paving for the water side of it, that would be about $450,000 to $500,000. But what she would recommend at that point is, because the water line that we're looking at replacing is very old and it's 4-inch line, cast iron line, she said this would definitely qualify for a project for DANR, and they do offer grant funding for that. So we could do a water fund grant to help us with the other half of the street. So those are just some all things to consider. And I did print out the map. This would be the lines in orange. Just to kind of refresh your brain of this part of the project.
So they can't put the water line in the same place the sewer line goes, put a new water line in the same place the sewer line goes?
Well, it's not a question of that, it's just we can't use sewer money for a water line. So those are some things to consider, to think about. She would be willing to either come down and meet with the subcommittee to discuss this further, or she'd be willing to come down and meet with the full council. So whatever you guys would like to do.
So the one going through the alley is the sewer, correct?
Yes. On Union Street.
Between Union and Offset, right?
Yep.
Am I under?
But for Union, that is definitely through the alley. And
Between Union and Broad, it's through the alley also, isn't it?
That's the way it looks. But the Ofsted is
That's what we're,
actually down the
Right.
street.
And remember, this is that part we were also talking about. If the line is still in good shape, this would be where we would do that balloon process. So, but we do know of a couple of areas that definitely needed assistance a few years ago, and it's just a question of where are they at now?
Those are on Ofsted though, correct?
Yes. So I guess what I'm asking for is your opinion. Would you like to have Tanya come down either to do it in a small committee group, or would you like to have her attend a meeting? And are you also in favor of starting this design work in January of 2023? Or do you have another time frame in mind?
When is the actual plant scheduled to be completed?
2023.
In 2023 sometime.
But it'd be late in the year.
So we probably wouldn't hook this new stuff on until 2024 sometime.
Dale and I and Lonnie were talking about that today, wondering how all of this process would work. I mean, would they seal off a certain area while they're doing it? Do they just pump that part out while the line is not operational? There's quite a few things we don't know yet, but I'm sure that they've done these projects before, so they may just continue. If we aren't gonna balloon the line and put in a new line, then they may just keep the old line intact until the very end and then just flip it over. The question that Tanya had for Sam is, or for all of you too, but mostly for Sam, April 22nd, she needs to have your comments and make sure those documents are ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
It's April 21st for you.
That's fair.
And again, like she mentioned when she was here on April 4th, that if any of you have comments or anything that you didn't see right about any of those documents, April 22nd is our deadline to get those comments to her.
So when you talked about the water line, when would we want to make that decision too? For the street?
I have a feeling that all of that will be done at the same time.
Okay,
So if that is something that you're interested in, then we'll go through this funding project all over again, only this time it'll just focus on clean water.
And the only street involved will be the Ofsted, because,
And First Street.
well, I'm
Yeah,
sorry, the
yeah.
sewer doesn't run
right.
down.
Mhm.
So,
So when would we have to make that decision on the water then? Would we be making that tonight also?
no, you don't have to make that decision
Okay.
tonight. And if you want time to think about it, I mean, we have time unless you
Okay.
wanted to start it in the fall, then I should let her know. But if you are okay with putting this to kind of waiting until January of 2023 to start the whole process, then probably by late summer, we need to let her know.
Okay.
So it was a good day last week.
So this is just asking. So, okay, we get a grant, but we still don't have all the money. So does that mean then the water bills would go up again?
Well, you can see there's an additional surcharge that is stipulation of this grant, so we have to add $2.55 to sewer in addition to the 10 that we added.
Because that's all you hear.
So,
No,
I totally get it. It was a horrible year to have to do what we did, but, and I also told Tanya that, you know, we had, even a year before we started this, we did the 10% and
Yeah.
have been putting that away, so, but this is just what DANR, their recommendation, so,
So we better just get prepared.
yes. But I mean, it was, you know, I did sit through the first part of that meeting and they had 600 million to give away and we were the second city. And I was very pleased to get 1.4.
Alcester was the second city
Yep,
out of everybody.
yep.
That's a big deal.
Well, we went in alphabetical, so Aberdeen was first and then it was us.
Okay, that's still
So.
good for you.
But
anybody got any ideas, any discussion that they want to continue with?
And then there is also one other thing. At our last meeting, when Tanya was talking, she said one thing on the sewer side. How did you guys feel about lessening that bid date from 30 days, maybe making it 7 to 14 days? She thought with the influx of prices changing that we've been experiencing, she said maybe you might get bidders that might feel more comfortable putting a bid in if the council was willing to operate a little bit faster and granting that 7 to 14 days versus the 30 days. So I don't know, Sam, if you had time to think about that as well.
I'm no expert on this, but based off what I'm seeing, I think Tommy's probably right. If we do shorten the bid time, and maybe we can let them know sooner rather than later, it might be good for us. If it doesn't work out, we do it again.
Well, this would be the time to review the bids after they come in and to act upon them.
I mean, the amount of money the city is gonna spend in having an extra council meeting or doing whatever we need to do is gonna be a drop in the bucket with how much materials could go. And I do think it would be helpful for council and the public to have Tandy come down and present kind of
Okay.
to everybody. That just, I think it would be good so that the public at least has a chance to hear what's going on.
So we will still need a motion then for C.
Yeah, letter C having to do with the changing the time frame from 30 days to blank days, 7, 10, whatever you think is best. You would need a motion on that.
That would be kind of in the middle of the 7.
Yeah,
Do 15 too, I suppose. Give them 2 weeks to get their stuff.
Yeah, how long is it gonna take them to get their, people that have put the bid in?
Are they gonna get specs beforehand?
Oh, yes, it'll be out there for a good,
Oh, it will be,
yeah,
okay.
it would be out there probably a good 60 days for them to look at it and get their specs and,
Maybe 10 days would be all right then.
I think so.
I'll make a motion to approve reducing the bid award timeframe from 30 days to 10 days.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded to reduce the bid award time frame from 30 days to 10 days on the wastewater facility plant upgrade. Is there any other discussion?
Is Banner gonna be assisting with this bid process and
They'll
checking
take
over
care of
all
all
that?
of it.
They'll take care of all of it?
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 9C, or 9C motion passes, excuse me. Street repair,
so Lonnie is gonna start working on the overlays and asphalt patching. He would like to make the process go a little faster this year, and so he'd like approval to rent a skid loader and the cold planer, and then use our skid loader to follow up right behind and clean up. And one week rental rate from Ziegler for both pieces is $35.92. And this would come out of the streets budget.
What are we doing on that street next to Will Quick's house this summer?
We haven't met with our asphalt guy, but it is our intent to asphalt it. We got an estimate last fall, but that was before $5 diesel. But it is our intent to do the north and south section of that street this year.
So why the odd figure? We got 1480 and 1950.
That's just what it,
What's that?
it's just what it was.
Because you can rent just a planer, or you can rent just the skid loader, so they're combining the two figures, that's how they got that.
If I add those two, I get 3430. Not 3592. Unless I'm looking at,
No, that was what Lonnie sent to me, was what you have.
what are the,
maybe there's a mobilization charge.
what are the two numbers?
$1,950 for the Cat 299D3 skid loader,
Okay,
and $1,480 for the PC 80408B planer.
I think you mentioned there was a trip charge,
Okay.
they're gonna deliver it as well.
Okay, well, that takes care of that.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve Yeah, are you ready for a motion, Mr. Mayor?
I'm ready for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the equipment rental, Ziegler Rentals, $3,592, 1 week for a Cat 299D3 skid loader and a Cat PC 408B street planer. Money coming from general fund.
I'll second it.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the equipment rental from Ziegler Rentals for $35.92 for the Cat skid steer and the cold planer for 1 week, money coming from the general fund. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Police Department. I had a discussion with the chief today, actually, just for a few minutes. And pickup has a graphics wrap on it. And it's an entire wrap of the pickup side, or basically of the entire pickup. And it was done 5 years ago.
17.
So evidently, they're the ones that supplied the wrap, and then,
SS Graphics and Beersford installed it.
so there were 2 companies involved in that whole wrap thing. Graphics Shop out of Eagan, Minnesota charged $706.68 for the wrap. And SS Graphics out of Beersford, South Dakota charged $225 to install the wrap, totaling $931.68. So you can see the chiefs supplied us with a couple of different diagrams. I asked what the difference was. Actually, I didn't even get a chance to ask. I was just about to, and they said this first one that's on the back page of the octane quote, that is, it's a little harder to read. They're the identical pictures, but one I believe is a GIF and the other one isn't. So the graphic image file, I think, is easier to see, where you can see the actual text on the vehicle better. It's not quite as dark. So
So what's happening to the stuff we have that's on there now?
peeling,
It's peeling.
peeling off quite badly.
It is.
This is,
They want to go to the one that you can see that.
right, and it's reflective, yeah, so, and it's actually less money installed. I mean,
So that is the installed price, this removal of the old wrap. Is that going to include putting the new stuff on, or is that $600 include the installation? We're not going to get another $400 bill to put the new stuff on, are we?
I think Austin made it sound like this is the full
Yeah.
cost.
Okay.
We're not gonna be trading the updating soon, are we, the truck?
No.
Well, there is a wiring issue with the pickup. Doty and someone else did some wiring on it, and it doesn't like to start very often. I walked by one day and it was running. So I called Austin, and he was out hunting. He said he had it running because he got started and thought maybe that would help charge it up. So he's going to have to take it, I don't remember where he said, it's gonna cost about $1,200 to fix this wiring.
How many miles are on it?
What?
How many miles are on it?
He didn't even tell me that. Do you know?
I think it's right around 50,000, 60,000. And normally police vehicles, we keep until 100,000. Just because they have a little bit rougher life than a standard vehicle.
So anyway, that's, he just told me that tonight. That it needs to be fixed because it's not very reliable right now to start. And honestly, at the price of gas, I don't think we should be running it too long anyway. Sitting there, but So he was thinking maybe he could get it down to, it's someplace in Sioux City, I think he said, and get it wired while Grayson is gone.
And the part-timer won't need it. They can both use the same car.
Well, they're using this right now, while he's gone, while Austin's gone.
$800 to do the next bicycle. Battery siren? Just joking.
They have e-bikes now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They're $4,000.
Okay.
So I don't know if we need to do anything about that wiring either. He
I
said
think
they
it's-
have to take all the wiring out
Mhm.
and redo it all. That's what he told me.
If they can do all that for $1,200, I think that's actually a really good deal,
I don't know.
considering everything that is wired in there.
Yeah.
So I just spent $1,000 just getting 2 leaks fixed.
Too much?
2 leaks
Oh, yeah.
and a tune.
So I think he was just thinking maybe we could get it done when he gets back from the conference. Get it down there.
Any other discussion? Well, if you want to move forward with the graphics, we need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve spending up to $830.70 from Octane Inc., coming from the general fund.
I'll second that.
We've got a motion and a second to approve graphics quote from Octane Inc. for the police pickup vehicle, $830.70. Is there any other discussion?
I've had dealings with Octane Inc. and although it was a smaller project than this, they did a good job.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Comes back from the Chiefs Conference, we'll talk to him about that. Taken care of, I guess, huh? How about the library, the summer library assistant situation?
Did we have to do anything with the other, with the wiring? Do we have to prove anything to get it wired?
Well, we would, but I think we should actually find out exactly what the story is first. And I mean, shouldn't he come in and at least tell us what's going on
Well,
and
he
who it
would,
is?
he was going to, but he's on his way to the
I
conference.
know, but
But if we're gonna get it fixed, well, when does Grayson get out done?
June,
June.
So we'd still have,
we got time.
I don't know how long it'll take.
And I don't know if he,
$1,200 will probably only take half a day.
I don't know if he has a formal quote. If he has a formal quote,
I
if he could
believe,
email that in.
I
that'd be
believe he
great.
did. Because he
Perfect.
told me he had talked to him and he got a quote of
Okay.
but we
I will
need,
tell him.
we need the
$1,200. I will tell him.
place, we need all the particulars before
Okay.
we can. Okay, then we're back to item number 12, the library, summer library assistant.
Every summer, to help clean out the shelves and assist with the summer reading program, we've been hiring a student assistant. And I'd like to make a motion to hire Alyssa Just for the summer library assistant at $9.95 an hour. It will be effective immediately, but I don't know exactly what duties will be before school's out.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to hire Alyssa Just, summer library assistant for $9.95 per hour, effective immediately. Is there any other discussion? Not? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Right, 13 is chairperson updates, if needed.
I guess I don't have anything on the streets besides Lonnie's gonna start fixing.
Right.
Or,
Right?
Is that gonna happen next week, or
I don't think so. He didn't give me a exact date.
not,
He said-
not doing it this week?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, how about the cemetery?
They were all quiet.
No?
We haven't decided any, what we're gonna do about the gophers, have we?
No, I haven't heard any more on that.
Is there some way you can treat them, or
Yeah.
what do you say?
Call Bill Murray.
Okay.
Evidently, there was a pocket gopher, and they called them pocket gopher issue out at some of the areas on Beck Drive as well. So I don't know if we could just kind of get a group rate, kill all the gophers, or whatever, I don't know. I mean, but we should at least work together on that, so. How about water? It's back to Lucas.
I don't think so.
Nothing? Okay. And wastewater is Linda.
I have not had a chance to talk to anybody.
So the only thing I want to share on wastewater is, a couple weeks ago, we had a patron have some backup in their basement. And Dale responded and had watermen come down the line to see what was the issue, and a large chunk of solid soap broke through and clogged, and then there was a backup. And so again, if you talk to any of your people in your ward, make sure that you tell them that our septic system really doesn't, or our sewer line doesn't really do well with powdered soap. It tends to make these large bricks in the line, and when they go, we have no idea when, and we just have to have them jutted out. But everything was turned over to our insurance company, and I just received a letter today. The insurance company said the city was not at fault for this. So the homeowner will have to put it through on their homeowner's insurance. But just in case you hear rumblings, you will know that why.
No.
Yeah. Use Tide Pods, huh?
Just liquid.
Or
Yeah,
liquid,
right.
Is that something that should be advertised?
No?
Could you put that on the water bill?
I find people don't read the notes we put on our water
Sure
bill.
does. I don't think I would.
So why did
I just look at the dollar amount when I go,
we used to put notes on them every month, and
That's what I was thinking.
I don't know that it was very effective, so we don't do it anymore. But, I mean, it's certainly, we could put it on there and just see what happens.
I'd say let's do it. Just make a note,
Okay.
try it for a little while.
If I may, point of interest, I used Cascade pods, and we had to take out a 12-foot section of pipe because those clogged up the pipe. So,
Does?
Cascade pods.
Really?
So, I don't use pods, I use liquid.
It wasn't brought out in those advertisements on
No.
TV.
No.
So there you go, Gordon, another story.
Maybe we could even put something on that sign over there that just says, please use liquid soap rather than powdered soap any chance you can, or run it across there for,
Powdered soap has created clogs in our sewer system.
yeah.
Could run a big, attention ad in the newspaper.
Yeah.
That's true.
Attention.
Yeah.
Won't be a bad idea.
Powder's illegal.
That's right.
In more than one place.
Anything on the library other than what we've already discussed?
I don't believe so. Things seem to be going well with it.
How about the golf course?
I got a call from Lonnie today, the pump that fills our pool might be having an issue, so Axel was down and was gonna check on some electrical thing about
The one that fills the
that.
pond?
The one that fills the pump, that's at the end of Third, Fourth Street. And he also said that building that's where that pump house is may need a new roof someday. But other than that, we're ready to grow grass as soon as it warms up.
And rains.
Yeah.
I got water on 3 places right now, so it'll have to get turned off because it's 20 degrees every night.
At least the hoses aren't freezing, though, right?
I'm not draining. So we're hoping 60, 70 degrees by the weekend, maybe a rain, it'll all help. There's really no activity up there with this kind of weather.
I saw a couple cars over there today, and I don't know whether they were just out playing a few holes or, I don't
One guy was checking on his car.
know. Cart, yeah, I was just gonna say.
Have you made connection with B&B for golf carts?
No, I haven't. We
Okay.
could probably get those on order. Step Landon give me a call.
All right,
We know Landon has figured out which one we trade in.
okay.
So. All the rest of them all the rest of the carts and the mowers are all oil changes, ready to go.
All right, well, if there's nothing else on the golf course, then go on to the finance office. Cindy, Dave, and Lucas are involved in the finance and budget committee. And then we can go on to the liquor store. Now, I know something happened there.
Got fixed.
Yeah, I saw the TSR vehicle parked there for a while.
Is it better?
I haven't heard anything, one way or another yet.
That could be good news, yeah.
So that was the plumbing
Yeah,
situation?
he was there Friday.
Drain.
I know the next thing we need to do there is get someone in for flooring, and I haven't called Ted yet, but that is the next thing.
What are we gonna do on the sidewalk? Is that planned to do something this summer?
Sam, have you heard, can we use ARPA funds for our sidewalk?
So when last we had this conversation, we couldn't, and I don't know if I get this something I can find out for you, but I feel like they changed. It was during the legislative session, they expanded what you could use the ARPA funds for. I think sidewalks might be included in that. I don't know that for sure, but I can look and find out, because before it was, the definition of infrastructure was a little tighter. And I could be getting this wrong, I'm sure you have, but I think they changed it and expanded.
Will you check and let me know either way?
Yep.
Thank you.
This is for downtown.
Yes.
Is it our responsibility for the curb out in front of like the senior citizen center going to the west? The curb itself?
No, that would be whoever is in charge of the senior citizen center.
moves that lot to the west
An
industrial park.
industrial board.
He went around and complained about it the other day, and so I'll check in on it, so I'll relate to him.
All right, item 13 is tabled. Move on to the golf course / community center.
And I've interviewed, and Clint helped me, I interviewed Justin Tyler Smith. He's a 19-year-old young man who was interested in working outside. And since we're gonna have some extra mowing and landscape work around the community center and at the golf course, I think he'd be a good fit for us. So I'd make a motion to approve hiring Justin Tyler Smith for the position of groundskeeper, landscaper, groundskeeper, at the rate of $9.95 an hour. Might not start until school's out, but good when he's out, starting immediately, because if he gets a few hours. We gotta have somebody figure out how to water some of that grass before it all blows away.
I'll second that.
Motion was made and seconded to approve the hiring of Justin Tyler Smith as position, in the position of groundskeeper at a rate of $9.95 per hour. And it might as well be effective immediately. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, letter B.
I've had 2 or 3 discussions with Michael Croy, who is our bar manager, golf club manager. He's brings the point that he's doing a lot of things, doing some cooking, takes care of the bar, been rescheduling the workers out of the clubhouse for the summer. Does some serving if it's needed, and he doesn't think $13.50 an hour is appropriate salary. So I told him I'd bring it up. I guess in this day and age when it's tough to find people, when restaurants are having to close and cut down hours because they can't get staff, maybe we should do something to try and keep our guys, or keep our people. I'd like to begin the discussion by seeing if anybody's interested, bumping him up to 15.50.
So what schedule is he going to be making?
The people that will run the clubhouse or take care of the bar.
Just the bar area, right?
The golfers.
Yeah, for the golf.
Okay.
Like basically this would be the Sunday and Monday and the evenings, like when there's league.
He's about to get quite busy.
We hope.
Oh, yeah, we don't.
Do we, maybe, can we talk about that in executive session, some of that?
Sure.
And then maybe come back out? This we kind of had some
Just
discussions.
Postpone that till number 16.
Can we do that?
That acceptable?
I'm sure testing, sorry.
All right, that helps.
Richard paid his card. He needs a code,
Use a what?
a code, the golf cart.
I got those.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so no other hiring / community center golf course discussion
No,
at this time?
as long as we can bring that up later.
We'll return to that after we get through with item 16. So then we'll move on to the finance office updates.
So we did, Lucas and Cindy and myself did do some interviewing for the deputy finance officer position. And we did make an offer to a person today, and she'd like a couple days to think about it and get back with us. So hopefully we'll have a more definite answer on May 2nd. So. So B, there will be no motion tonight.
How about letter C, motion to hire blank for custodian?
We also decided on a person for that. And so we decided we want to hire Leanne Heche for custodian at $11 an hour.
Leanne, how do you spell it?
Leeann.
And Hayes is like the pharmacy?
Yes.
And that would be effective,
Effective immediately. She
Cindy,
won't start.
would you repeat the amount again, please?
$11.
Okay, thank you.
we would need a motion.
So I'll make a motion to hire Leanne Heche for custodian at $11 an hour effective immediately.
I'll second that. Motion's been made and seconded to hire Leanne Heche as custodian, pardon me, at $11 an hour effective immediately. Is there any discussion? Hearing none? Did I hear something? No? Okay.
No, just
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Did have, one moment. We did have Quan Berglund and Post create one of these. I believe everybody got one. Not an inexpensive process, but necessary. You can see the dollar amounts there. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to look through the actual report, but it's pretty straightforward. I mean, it looked good.
I am gonna try to have, one of the auditors or Dwight come at the May meeting to go over the report.
How much did it go up from last year?
Well,
The year before?
The last 3 years, it's gone up $500
Each year?
each year. And I got the bill, or I got the engagement letter today for 2021 audit, and it's $9,000. So it too went up another $500. I haven't asked why. It does seem excessive for $500 each year, but
there really isn't anybody else that does this.
There's a guy named Kyle Shanefish. The Shanefish is out of, he's in the legislature, and they're out of,
Like Menno or
yeah,
up in
Scotland area.
Yeah,
And they do wear things, they do a pretty good job, I don't know what they charge.
I don't know that either. That would be the only other auditor I know for municipalities.
Something we need to check into?
I don't know.
We could certainly find out what it costs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we'd like to do business locally if we can, but,
Yes, I would too, but.
I mean, if they keep going up $500 every year and others are not, well, I don't know why. Maybe a good thing would be to just ask the question
Okay.
of Palmberg when they post it. You know, why is it going up so much?
Because of team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's true, that's true.
it's possible.
I asked that same question last year and I got told that the amount of hours that they have to put into an audit is, that is what they need to charge for it, so.
You wouldn't think it'd be that much more every year though.
I know.
I mean, that's.
It concerns me too. I don't understand why it's $500 a year that it's gone up. But
We used to, way back when, used to have this done every 2 years.
every 2 years.
And we have to do it every year though.
No, we don't have to. It just makes life easier if we
Okay.
do it every year.
Because it probably wouldn't be, it'd probably be the same price doubled if we did it every 2 years, so then we got a huge bill every 2 years.
I don't know that it would necessarily be dollar for dollar doubled, but you have to remember then when they ask you a transaction,
Yeah.
you have to remember, okay, why
2
did we
years
make
ago.
that decision
Yeah.
for what we
Yeah.
did?
Yeah, I can see that every year is better.
Yeah. But
Well, nonetheless, it's been done. You can see the amount.
I'll make the motion to pay Quam, Berglund, and Post 2020 audit from the general fund, $4,250, from the water fund, $2,125, and from the sewer fund, $2,125.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded to pay Palmberg and Post for the 2020 audit. $4,250 of which comes out of the general fund, $2,125 comes out of the water fund, and $2,125 comes out of the sewer fund. Is there any discussion at this time? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Reminders and updates. Looks like there's a library story time still going on, right?
Yes.
For another couple weeks, week and a half. Saturday at 10 a.m. Landfill hours are posted there. Nothing changed from last year, where we did add the Wednesday 2 to 4 p.m. I believe that was last year when we did add that. Spring cleanup, the dumpsters are here on
And
Second
full.
Street.
I know.
Yes.
Now they fill up very fast. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
I know.
Wanda said they were delivered Friday morning and
Yes,
by
but
Friday night they
Yes,
were.
they were full.
And they've been smashed down twice. And I've contacted Lauren for new ones.
Unreal.
It's good though. Get it out
Yeah.
of here.
It is, yeah.
So they're gonna be gone May 1st, or they'll leave May 1st. The next council meeting will be the day after that, May 2nd at 6 p.m. That's all there are for reminders and updates right now. And item number 16 is executive session if needed, and I already know that Sam has requested an executive session. I assume, Sam, That would be for legal.
That's right.
I'll make a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-2, Bren 3.
I'll second.
Did I do that right? Yes. Yeah.
Yep. Motion has been made and seconded to enter into executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-2, parent 3. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 7:10 PM. We will be in executive session. That is nice.
Yeah, there is one here.
Yeah.
Two, is there two?
Okay,
Probably not gonna work.
we are
We still have all the
out of executive session at 8:18 PM. And we need to go back to discuss anything that you want to discuss regarding, geez, I can't even see the, 14B? Yeah, 14B. Which basically had, all I had written was motion to approve hiring blank.
Okay, and I've had some 2 or 3 discussions with Mike Croy. He's been with us for going on 2 years now, and been full-time since November, well, since, I guess, about this time last year. He'd be interested in getting a raise, because he's got some more responsibilities that he hasn't had before, and he thinks things are gonna get pretty busy this summer. So I would like to bump him to 15 or 15.50 from his current salary of 13.50 per hour. Discussion?
I think
1550.
I think 15.
I think 1550.
So I'll make a motion then to hire or change Mike's wages, Mike Croy's wages, to the position of bartender, bar manager and clubhouse manager. His rate of pay will be $13.50 per hour, effective the next pay period.
You said
You
15?
said
13.50, 13.50 now, 15.50.
I'll second it.
That's my light here. Dave, Cindy. All right, so a motion's been made to approve the hiring of Mike Croy for the position of bar manager and clubhouse manager at the rate of $15.50 an hour. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Well, the only thing left is item number 17, to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 8:21.